One of the greatest regrets in life is being what others would want you to be rather than being yourself. Welcome to Goal Getters with Rajat Soni. Today I have with me two awesome leaders, Deepika Chawla and Gurnoor Behl. And Deepika's husband Amit Chawla, Gurnoor and we were all part of a business networking program together. And through Amit, I met this amazing person. That's Deepika. She's a person who's so benevolent. She's all heart. And wherever she goes, she spreads that positivity. Deepika believes your legacy is in the leaders you create and the knowledge that you share. She's a businesswoman, presently a vice president in a Fortune 100 company, having 27 plus years of rich and diverse work experience in financial shade services and the banking industry. She's a qualified chartered accountant and extremely passionate for women and society. Deepika has won various recognitions for promoting inclusion and diversity in the workplace and society. She has been named as one of the 25 inspiring women in the coffee book, Big Dreams, Bigger Achievements. She has also been decorated with Champion Award from We Are the City organization in collaboration with EY Ernst & Young for her passion, resilience, and tenacity in supporting diversity. So here I welcome Deepika Chawla.
Thank you,
Hey,
Rajat.
Deepika.
This is one. Hi, and thank you so much for a lovely introduction. I'm really excited for today. One plus for the reason that I'm going to learn a lot today. I'm very sure, Rajat. And that's what I'm looking forward to.
And I am so looking forward to learning from the both of you. I'm so looking forward to it. Now I invite my second speaker, a friend, a buddy, an amazing person who is Gurnoor Behl. Now, Gurnoor is a social media solutionist, trainer, speaker with a niche in personal branding and creating industry influencers. With over 9 years of experience in social media and 2.5 years of experience as an entrepreneur, she has worked with premium organizations, individuals, me being one of them, and hosted a diverse set of niche events. These 50 plus clients range from coaches, trainers, speakers, serial entrepreneurs, celebrities, and select government and global organizations. Gurnoor has also delivered trainings and talks around the country to over 3,000 plus people and more in the short period. Gurnoor is a master LinkedIn expert, and I can vouch for it. And she has been trained by YouTube and trained YouTubers at the Google headquarters. And she's also an award-winning serial tweeter. Apart from social media, you can watch Gurnoor writing poetry, breakdancing, or advocating for diversity and inclusion. So here I welcome Gurnoor Behl.
My God, thank you so much for that entrance. I mean, this intro and entrance, I'd say, because I can't believe that I have the privilege of, being on your show, Rajat, and that too with Deepika. It's like a dream. This is actually the most exciting, I'd say, in the smallest word possible, like the quickest word possible, most exciting talk that I have ever been invited for. I am nervous, I am enthusiastic, I am really looking forward to it. And what I am really actually going to gain out of this is a lot of perspective. And isn't that what life is about? Perspective. So thank you for having me, and I'm really looking forward to this talk. All
Life
right.
is indeed about perspective, and there are a lot of perspectives that are going to be shared, and a lot of mindsets that are going to be rewired today. And as you all have heard, we're speaking about inclusion, diversity, and that is the theme of our conversation today. And that's why we call it as Goal Getters with Rajat Soni, the Pride Edition. Great. Now, coming straight to the point. If I ask you, Gurnoor, what is the one thing about you that most of our audience would not know, what would it be?
Well, if you say come straight to the point, I'll come straight to the point. I'm not straight. So I'm actually what you'd call homo flexible when we look at sexual orientation. I don't know if you guys have heard any of this, okay?
We've heard of LGBT, that's it. We've not heard beyond that.
So,
You have to educate us, yes.
so LGBTQIA plus, there's so much. It's a rainbow, just imagine a rainbow with, a lot of colors there. So homo flexible is a lesser known sexual orientation, but I'll just tell you a few. You have this, you have straight, which is also a sexual orientation, wherein you like 100% the opposite sex. Okay, so let's get the percentage a little down then. Then you have hetero-flexible, wherein you like 80% of the opposite sexual orientation and 20% of maybe the same sex. Then you have a 50-50, which is bisexual. All right, and in that case, what happens is the person likes the opposite sex as well as the same sex, 50-50. And then you go even lower, which is homo-flexible, wherein the person likes 80% of the same sex and 20% of the opposite sex. And then you have the gay or the lesbian, which is 100% of the same sex. So I put it in numbers, and that's the easiest way to put it. So yeah, so I'm homo-flexible, wherein I
Okay.
like the opposite sex, but mostly the same sex.
Okay, so homo flexible would be someone who's a 70-30, probably a 70% female, or do we divide it like that, or it's just...
It's just for the sake of understanding.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Great. So firstly, kudos to you that you've gone ahead and spoken up about it, and that takes a really lot of courage. And it takes me back to a time, Gurnoor, if you remember, when we were doing that program together. And the first day when I went for the program, I just went and sat on the last seat. So I was very happily sitting over there. And everybody was new. We didn't know anybody really over there. And then this young girl just steps in, and she just comes and sits, I think, a row ahead of me or somewhere, and she was there. So it was just her in that row, and I was in the row behind, and then everybody else was in the front. So we were happy backbenchers over there. And then our business networking coach, Paritosh, he announces that whoever is sitting the closest to you is your buddy or your accountability partner. So by accident, we both became the accountability partners, not knowing each other at all. Taking a leap forward, I got a call from Gurnoor. So of course, when you are accountability partners, you are really discussing your networking, your experiences together, a lot of that stuff. And one day she called me up and she said that, Rajat, we really need to meet. And so let's meet. I said, okay, sure. So let's plan a time. And we met at Starbucks. And there I'm sitting there, and she's like, Rajat, there's one thing you don't know about me. And I'm like, yeah, okay, what is it? And she's like, what did you say? You said I'm gay, or what did you say?
No, I wouldn't. I said I like women.
Yeah, she said I like women. And I'm like, okay, great. So go on. So,
Rajat, didn't you say I also do?
I bet he said something like that.
I said, that's great. I do too.
Rajat, yeah, so you must have exactly said, I also do. So big deal.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he did say something like that for sure.
No, but then I got into my coaching mode because she really wanted to express and I really wanted to hear. And then we when we got into that conversation. So, and from there to now, it's been so many years, and
Yeah.
it feels so amazing, Gurnoor, that you finally, and you have chosen and graced this platform by speaking up and telling the world about it. So, if I may ask, what made you choose Goal Getters as a platform to open up?
Wow. Okay. Rajat, simply put, one is your platform. Okay. It has a lot to do with the comfort level that I share with you, but also because of the way you've always responded. Okay, from that, it has to do with that Starbucks conversation that we had. It was just so comfortable. Like, and let me assure you that every single time I come out to somebody, it's equally as scary. It's equally like you don't know what's going to happen. I have hardened up over time, but it's equally as scary. And one, because of that. Two, I'd say it's also because Deepika's here, and Deepika's been a great support. Ever since I've known her, literally from the first conversation I've had with her. Also, I feel that the people that you speak to, teenagers, parents, I have a lot to give back. And as an advocate for diversity and inclusion, I've been giving back to my own community a lot. But I feel like right here with Goal Getters, it's exactly the right kind of people that I want to give back, like really help. This also is happens to be for me the most challenging talks of my life, simply because we know so many people. We have so many mutual friends and connects,
Yes.
and I know a lot of them have very varying opinions about this matter. And a lot of people have no idea of my orientation. It's not a topic to talk about, really. And it's challenging. It's scary, but at the same time, I remember being hesitant about this. And it was Deepika that did convince me for it. But I just asked myself one thing: how would I feel if I didn't do it? And I knew the answer immediately. I would never be able to live with myself. I would just not be able to live with myself if I didn't speak my truth. So, Goal Getters is exactly the right place to be. It's a safe environment. Rajat, and Rajat, you're an amazing coach. You've coached me. You're an amazing person. And Deepika, it's absolutely empowering to be on the same platform
Cheers.
as you. It's empowering, it's a privilege, it's an honor. So, yes, best place, literally.
So I would actually say to you, Gunur, that you are empowering so many people today. This is going to be a very big moment for me as well, because whenever I have met you, whenever we have spoken, you have talked to me so comfortably. I think this topic never came up for discussion, even though we knew everything, but it's never been important. It's work, it's fun, it's everything we've done together. So that, basic thing where you are so at it, so acceptable at yourself, you really are going to be a role model today when you're going to talk about it to so many. So this empowerment is for you today, not for anybody else.
Thank you so much. Thank you so very much.
And I completely agree to what Deepika is saying. It's like you're empowering people, you're enabling people, you are uh, evolving the mindset of people. I mean, even if you're taking a first step towards that today, I think we have achieved our purpose. So thank you so much, Gurnoor. Thank you so much. Means a lot to us.
Thanks to you.
And
Yeah.
and as Gurnoor, you were saying, yes, I do coach teenagers, and there have been two uh, teenagers, the parents of teenagers who had approached me. One was uh, one was for a boy, the teenager boy, and he was confused about his gender. The gender identity thing came in with him, wherein now he felt attracted to women, but there was so much bullying done. So now he had a little effeminate way of speaking. He would not speak very naturally. He was 16 years old, but he would speak in a very effeminate tone, which was his way of talking because, he used to be really inspired by his sister. So he took her tone and he used to speak like that. But it was taken as, so he was constantly bullied in school. And he started believing that maybe he likes men or he likes guys. So when the parent came to know, the parents were very open. They were very open to accepting his sexuality. But he was not ready for it. But then, of course, then he realized that I do like women, and that's not the case. I don't like. It's not the men thing, it's just the influence. Another teenager, another parent came up to me and they said, मेरी बेटी को ठीक कर दो. So they have a daughter who's again 15 years old, and she likes girls. She likes girls. I'm not too sure about the homo flexibility and the lesbian part, but she likes girls, right? And she's quite sure of it. She has that maturity level to understand that. But her parents think that there is something, especially her mother. So it's a woman, it's a mother who thinks that there is something wrong in my girl. So she got me to say, ki, make her right. Now, generally when I get such cases, I completely refuse because I'm not here to pass on your message to the teenager. It's about the teenager evolving. But the eyes of that girl, she wanted to talk about it. She wanted to share it. And she wanted to feel that acceptance. And then I took up that girl. And now it's taking us time. Now the thing is that the girl is taking us time to convince the mother about it, because only then the mother will convince the father. It's an entire different ballgame altogether. So for you, Gurnoor, when was the first time when you realized that you had a sexual orientation towards women? When was that the first time? Was it your teenage?
Well, I think I was very privileged to know this very early on in my life, that I was what I used to always say, unique, So I always considered myself unique in general as a human being. But at the age of 12, the first person I ever kissed was a girl. Mind you, I was also then at that time dating a boy. So the first time I kissed was a girl. It felt very natural. I did think there was something different. I had just come back from US, and वहाँ पे मैंने ये term lesbian सुना था. They're very evolved around that, even at the age of 11. And I remember like it was yesterday, that girl telling me, something known as a lesbian, when girls like girls. And I was like, how would that be like? Okay. And that's it. That's all I thought of it. And the first time it happened for me was the age of 12. And I think while I may have had quite a journey after that, it's really good that I figured that out much earlier, like really good. And that's why I feel like that's why I feel like this is the best place too, because there are a lot of teenagers in today's age. There's a lot more awareness. Back when I was young, thank God I'd heard that it was a thing, back in US, I'd heard it there. But I was in India and I was in Chandigarh, and that was the first time. And it was a very different experience than I would have ever anticipated. Yeah.
Yeah, but what was really going on in your mind at that time? What was, when this was, you were feeling attracted to boys also, you were feeling attracted to girls also, but how was that going on in your mind?
It was very confusing, for sure. I think I was supremely confused because both of it felt really nice. In fact, the girl felt much better. And I was like, what is happening? I mean, so I was very confused at that point of time. And And I kept on doing what my heart guided me, like all my life, whether it's career, whether it's friends, whether it's anything. I've always listened to my heart, and my heart just felt right. And I remember telling myself that if it feels so right, then how can it be wrong? And I would just keep telling myself that it feels so right, So how can it be wrong? And I just continued. So I was very confused though. Like I was really, really confused. And there were so many things that I went through in that process. I mean, if I may share,
Please do.
I, I I remember back when I was in US, I used to get bullied for other things, like because I was different. I was Indian. I was desi. When I came back to India, I was now getting bullied for liking or having a certain closeness with a certain girl, and just a certain girl, and that was despite the fact that I was dating a boy. So I was going through that. Then there's this entire thing that once you get called names and you're like, you know, I was always a quiet kid. I know that nobody can actually agree to that when now they see me. But I was a very quiet kid. कोने में लड़कों में कोने में बैठ जाऊंगी types. These kind of things, when you get bullied, when you get pushed into a corner, and people say that this is so unnatural, you're so weird, and no matter how cool you are, it does affect you. It affects you very deeply. And let's be real, okay? We all think our parents don't know shit. They know everything, okay? They know things are happening, and uh, they also question you in weird ways. And not just mine. I'm not just talking about mine. I'm talking about the girl also. Who I was seeing at that time, and it was just a really crazy time because everywhere I would go, there was some hostility, but the greatest hostility was, I think, how I started judging myself, and how I was like, uh, it felt good, but it was so confusing, and everyone was saying, well, crap to me, or maybe they were right. And it was heartbreaking. I would write in my diary every single day, and then at the same time, I remember being so scared that if my diary was ever found, which it was, and what all would come out of that. And it was so hard to accept myself. I know for a fact that uh, I didn't. I didn't till I became an adult. I didn't. I just let go of it, and it was a very hard time. And it even became harder when I'm an army kid, so I keep moving. And I remember calling that girl back, and when I would go there, go to Chandigarh for my summer breaks because it's my ancestral place. And I went to her, and she was not. I remember she actually slapped me because she was not ready to accept that. And suddenly, I knew for a fact that I was all alone in this. I was all alone. She just did not, she was in denial, and I had no one to talk to. No one to talk to for so many years. And at that time, nobody spoke about it. Nobody spoke about it. It was pretty damn painful. Trust me on that. It was very painful. I had to fake it all the time, pretend that it was like, oh no, I'm into guys, and I'm Gurnoor or Behl. Like this entire thing about me being this cool kid is also there. So it was really hard to keep up that facade. And if you know me well enough, I'm one of the most honest people ever. So
You are.
I really, really can't deal with it. It was really painful. It was a really hard journey, at least till I came out. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so yeah, there's a lot of self-doubt you went through. There were a
Definitely.
lot of challenges you were facing within. How did acceptance seep in finally? Self-acceptance.
So I remember I was in 11th grade, and this girl leaned in to kiss me, and and I backed off, and I said, no, I'm not that kind. And she was like a very, very good friend of mine, and I felt so bad because that was another point in my life where I was like, okay, there's something off. I didn't feel right about it. It was in my hostel, when in my college first year. first few months, and I had another uh, thing, I don't know, fling a thing or whatever. And another girl leaned in and kissed me, and it felt so great. All of a sudden, it was like firecrackers, and it was amazing. And suddenly, I'm like, this was not a phase. Everything that anyone has ever told me is shit. It's shit. It's not a phase. इसमें तो कुछ है, कुछ तो है. I think that was the first point when I felt so great when I was 18, when I was like, okay, this is real. And the minute I said that to myself, this is real, I felt as if my entire being changed. The way I looked at life completely changed. Mind you, I was still dating a boy at that time. I was still dating a boy. I have dated boys, okay? And I've dated boys for years. So it's not like I did not know how that felt or whatever. But this felt really nice. And that was self-acceptance. That was a very powerful moment. And after that, there's no looking back.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you went forward, and how?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's so amazing. Gurnoor, if I may ask, what is that? So you said that you felt judged, and that's in fact the most common fear of a teenager, of being judged.
Yeah.
What is it that you needed at that point in time?
I think the hardest thing any human being can give another person is an ear.
Yeah.
Okay? Just listen. Just listen to the other person. And who do you talk to? Back when I was there was no teen life coach. There was no talk about LGBT. There was no talk about all of that. So even if you wanted to talk to somebody, who would you talk to? And actually, you just wanted to talk. That was the only time in my life I wrote a diary, because I wanted to get it out of my system. So I think you just need an ear, just like any other situation, any other thing you're going through.
Yeah. And
Yeah, Deepika.
no, I'm just saying, it's so amazing to hear Gurnoor. Very simple thing she's asking. She's saying acceptance. You would go through this word very often, Rajat. Everybody looks for that only, right? It's not something unique Gurnoor is asking or talking about. Listening, an ear, is what we all teach each other, whether at home, in office, outside, that at least be available to listen to somebody. And especially in COVID times, we are telling people that be available to people so that you can listen to them. They may be feeling lonely. I mean, that simple things is what Gurnoor talking about. It's not even asking the whole world that you change the world for us, but just make those simple things real. I mean, I didn't even see very difficult words which Gurnoor used.
Very simple words, yes. Very simply, I think the way you shared, Gurnoor, I think it really takes, it's putting the message across very clearly. And I think that's one message even I've been trying to spread to parents, that whenever you're talking to your children, you always say that they are not listening to us. They are not listening to us. Are you listening to them?
Yeah.
Parents coming, talking, because otherwise there's a lot of clutter that's created. Not every teenager thinks of writing down. Writing is the best form of expression. But not every teenager thinks the way you thought. And so the role of parents really comes in, because for you, for a teenager, parents is the society. Parents is everyone for them. And once your parents accept you, everyone accepts you or doesn't, it doesn't even matter.
It doesn't matter.
It's only your family. Just lending that one ear. So beautifully you spoke.
Thank you. Yeah.
Beautiful. Now, I know the answer for it, but I want you to tell me. Who's that first person in your family whom you shared, whom you shared about it?
My brother, my younger brother. Okay, he
Good
is
day,
he
huh?
is I think the best thing that could have ever happened to me, and he also knows it. It's not like he doesn't know this, but I mean, I remember I was so scared because he was always the best thing that ever happened to me, and his response actually for me meant a lot because not only am I the eldest in the family and I'm a role model, and suddenly I had to tell him something which the entire society was against, and I just told him. I think I just told him that I like girls, and he looked at me and he says, "Okay." I was scandalized. I was scandalized. I was like, "What?" He said, and
Uh,
I think he was drinking Coke, and we were sitting in a balcony, and it was late at night. We were having a chill session and stuff. And he was just drinking his Coke, and he said, "Continue drinking." And I said, "Listen, did you hear me?" He says, "Yeah. So what do you want me to say?" And I was like, "Whoa." And that boy has been so supportive of me, and he's a quiet guy. He doesn't say anything, but whenever this topic ever comes up in my family or among my friends, he speaks up. It's yeah, yeah.
and
I'm
who's inspiring him?
I think it's all him. I
Yeah.
can't take the credit for that. I don't I'll tell you very honestly, I don't have the courage that much at that time. You see me as this really strong woman in front of everyone. But when it comes to all of this, trust me, it takes three times me, three times my original self. And at that point, I'm only grateful, only grateful. Yeah.
Deepika
So
wanted to
again,
share something.
Rajat, if you look at it, if the whole world would react like that, okay, how many problems would be solved? How many problems would be solved? Um, there was no judging. There was just no judgment at all. I mean, if the whole world actually says, when you say, I'm homo flexible, or I like girls, or I like boys, and the other person simply says, okay. I mean, how much comfort and courage you can get from that perspective that, yes, it's okay.
और ये ऐसे भी
Just,
होता है, ये भी नहीं पता कि यार ऐसे भी लोग रिएक्ट कर सकते हैं.
yeah, I mean, I'm really telling you, if that's how simply, if the world reacts, how much of the problems can be solved, especially for this.
Hmm.
And like I said, Gurnoor, you're bringing very simple things when you're telling and when you're explaining. There will be very key messages which will be going out of this interview or this talk, that it's okay, it's normal. I think that's what
It's
you said just now.
it's okay to be you.
Yeah.
It
It's
is.
okay. I mean, when I go out, I don't go and say that I'm Rajat and I'm straight. Then
Yeah.
why does somebody of why does somebody else have to go and say that I am gay or I am a lesbian? It's just as normal as that.
Yeah.
And Rajat, that's a very nice point you brought, and that exactly happened with me in my life, say around 4 5 years back. And I'm also learning, and I'm also relearning, I should say that, unlearning, relearning. And I was sitting on a dinner table and I was telling my husband, my friend from school is coming and I'm meeting him after 20 years. And while just saying that, the last sentence was, he's gay. And my daughter was sitting next to me and she simply looked up and said, okay, what did we discuss just now? I said, no, I'm just telling that I'm very excited. I'm meeting him and I'm going to see him after 20 years. She said, no, what did you say after that? So I took a step back and I said, why are you asking that? She said, because I don't remember you saying I'm Deepika or I'm going to meet Deepika and, she's straight. That's no introduction. So why was it relevant to be told? If you're meeting him, you're excited. What is that relevant information which you're trying to bring on the table? And really, I'm talking about somebody who was like, she's 21. So I'm talking about somebody who's 16 at that time. And that was a learning for me, Rajat, that you can't just put that as a part of an introduction, you know.
Yeah.
And,
But it happens. I mean, I know
yeah,
it's happens because it's so ingrained in our system that this is
yeah,
different and this is same. We've somehow put those definitions in place, and even for that matter, if you see, definitions when you talk about like definitions between a man and a woman. So a man is supposed to do these things. A woman is supposed to do these things, and if a man does not enjoy sports or he doesn't ride a bike, he is not man enough.
Yeah.
Okay, and if a woman takes a step forward and she raises her opinion,
yeah.
nobody classifies it as a leadership
Deepika and I.
quality.
I think
Aggressive.
that's Deepika and I.
That's
Yeah,
aggressive.
exactly, and nobody understands that it is their leadership qualities that we want to imbibe in our children, and that is a leadership quality that she said she is just expressing herself. So now that brings me to my next question to you. In a world where, and it's open to both of you, so in a world where a straight woman, see, now I'm defining it as a straight woman, finds it difficult to survive. For that matter, even men, they also have to be set to certain standards. If they are not, like men don't cry and all that stuff. How is the journey of a woman who is considered so called different only due to her sexual orientation? And taking into consideration that Gurnoor, you're also an entrepreneur and you are out in the world. And Deepika, you're someone who supports diversity and inclusion so strongly. I would would like to know your views on this.
So, I mean, it's going to be amazing when I'm going to talk about Gurnoor, if I have to, Gurnoor is a woman. She's homo flexible. She's an entrepreneur. How diverse can you get when we're talking about it, right? And she's an awesome woman. She is an awesome homo flexible. When I talk to her about things and the way she's talking today, and no doubts about her being entrepreneur. So I really consider that your sexual orientation should not matter to the skills you acquire. Your intelligence, who you are, is the person, irrespective of what sexual orientation you would be. It must have been tough for Gunur. I'm very sure there must have been instances where she would have felt that, this is challenging. Somebody is holding back. Somebody is not supporting me. Somebody is not being on my side just because of this. But just mark it. Where I see Gunur from where she was to where she is now. It's amazing at such a young age. And this is because of the skills she has. It's the leader she is. It's what she has been investing in herself. And trust me, that's got nothing to do with the sexual orientation. And I have seen her, and I truly believe she's a role model. I am very impressed. I always had this feeling that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. And when I look at Gunur, I'm super proud of her. Gunur, you may want to add here, but really, I think it's the way you talk about your work and the way you have tread your journey. It's primarily because because of what you invested in yourself, what you wanted to learn.
Yeah. Thanks so much. I'm a little short on words after what you said. Thanks, Deepika. I want to add a little bit. There's another diversity. In fact, yes, I'm a woman. I'm queer. I'm an entrepreneur. I also have epilepsy. That also adds another fourth dimension to
Wow.
my diversity level. So it's on all different, you know, places, and I've gone through a lot of things. One, when it comes to being a woman, there is this entire thing about how a woman should be, how she should dress, how she should, get ready and present herself. I've never been the kinds who's interested in dresses and stuff, or wear corporate skirts or all of that. I've At the same time, that doesn't make me feel any less womanly. So the norms of what a woman should be, वो भी मेरे अंदर नहीं था. I've been there. I've done the entire page 3 gambit, called for Bollywood movie auditions, used to wear stilettos, don't feel that way anymore, much more comfortable in my denim shirt now. But that's one thing. Now being queer, of course, there's entire journey that I've shared with you guys. As an entrepreneur, and of course epilepsy, we're not going to talk about that so much, but I'll actually tell you some things that have happened because I have not been completely out. Like, I think this is my out. Today is my out. Um, because I've not been out, I have had to sit with people who I think are amazing, amazing human beings. And I'm literally thinking of one person right now. And I have actually heard that person talk so vehemently about, um, you know, about homosexuals, has been so homophobic that I don't even know if I'm okay with dealing with that person's perspective. You know, like I'm inherently a little open-minded because I have been judged, and I'm like, let's not judge because I've been judged. So, but to a limit that I'm like, I want to maintain a little distance. That's when you don't know the other person, or the other person doesn't know your sexual orientation, so they just go on and on. Then when people get to know your sexual orientation, now this is very candid, guys. Okay, let me very honestly tell you that when a gentleman in the corporate or at your workplace knows that um, this girl is into men and this girl is not into men, believe me, he is going to give more bhav, more opportunities to the girl who's into men.
Oh,
I don't even, and it may be very subconscious on his part, but it's very natural, and I've seen that happen. I have seen it happen. I have seen that leaders, influencers have blatantly ignored me because I can't give them anything other than work related bhav, or I can't be anything more than a friend to them, if anything, or just that. And that, at that point, when it comes to your professional work, especially someone like me who's just seriously a goal getter, okay,
not like this. You are a goal getter.
that point, it really, really makes your work, makes your, you have to work like 4 times hard. If a woman needs to work 2 times hard, you need to work 4 times hard. You have to work 4 times hard in terms of your skill. You need to work 4 times hard in terms of your communication. You need to work 4 times hard as to showcasing that, damn it, you can't do it without me. You can't do it without me. It doesn't matter if she's wearing a skirt. Believe me, I have been in those situations where just because I knew this and I worked my ass off, they replaced a pretty girl with me. And I'm talking really, really big brands, but only because I knew this. And I am telling you, it was a privilege for me to have known this about me so early on in life that I started building myself up, because I went through it early on in life. Yeah. I say the teenagers of today are privileged to have this awareness. And rather than feeling any less, they should use this opportunity to build themselves up as the humans that they are with their skills, develop their skill set. कोई नहीं छू सकता तुम्हें, कोई नहीं छू सकता. मेरे लिए this is a, it's like, you know, that blessing in disguise. Yeah. But these are some challenges. It has made me so much stronger in life, trust me. Any organization which advocates for diversity and inclusion is definitely going to ace it much faster than its competitors. Hands down. Because they have that safe environment for people to be themselves.
Wow. Deepika says something. I'm getting speechless right now.
Yeah, okay.
She's so good.
No, she's awesome. You know, she brought a very good point.
Yeah.
Gurnoor again brought a very good point of unconscious biasness. You know, where probably people don't even mean it, but they will start judging. She's talking about really the fact that it's unfair of who you are and to get a job for that because of that, and not because you are highly skilled or what is required to do that job. And that's something which we are fighting for a long time, that whether conscious bias, that you can still fight, Rajat. Unconscious bias, where it's settled into your mind and behavior, is very difficult to fight. And Gunur, again, you know, you're talking about it openly in this goal getter session is going to leave very strong message outside, because people should be focusing on making themselves, developing, skilling themselves, making them stronger, so they can really challenge whether conscious or unconscious bias. And that's important.
Yep. You have to do it. You have no choice.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
Yeah, no, this is amazing. This is actually stereotyping breaking, you know, you're breaking that complete, you know, they say stereotyping where, you know, people are conscious, they don't want to talk about it. You're right here with Rajat Soni talking about it, which will go to so many people tomorrow.
Deepika, who really defines these stereotypes?
You may not like the answer, Rajat, but people like you and me, over the years, over the time, the society, I don't even know where to pinpoint. I belong to an era where this was not even talked about. It was only said, it the way you explained, it was said. I mean, today you're, you know, there are things where you're teaching people that it's okay for a boy to cry. You know, it's about expression. Today, that's how we are talking, right? If I want my son to be happy in future, because he's always seen his mother working, I want him to learn some cooking because he's going to share the housework with the wife. So it's very important how I bring up my son tomorrow, you know, today, so that he can have a happier life. So today you're doing all that, but I belong to an era where the words you said, or he's feminine, was not even acceptable. We were told it is wrong. So I was brought up like that, Rajat. So stereotyping is inbuilt in you. Okay, this is wrong. He's feminine. This should not be done. There is no book in school where it is said that sexual orientation is important to know. I mean, Gurnoor was lucky at an age of 12, she knew. There are thousands of people, millions of people who wouldn't even know. They wouldn't even talk about it. So it is really, we don't teach anybody. We just hearsay and then talk about it. We don't accept it in the family. Um, I mean, I don't remember attending a wedding in my lifetime for two men or two women. I want to. I want to be a part of that, because that will be my next level of acceptance in my own personal life, of breaking that stereotyping. because nobody talks of that. I mean, look at the journey: school, college, office. It's only now corporates are focusing and they're making inclusion and diversity. When it comes from the top, Rajat, it makes a huge difference because they believe in it, right? Whether it's Black Lives Matter or All Lives Matter,
Mm.
it's the same, really. you know so I mean, that's why I said, Rajat, you may not like the answer, but it's people like you and
It's
me,
us.
and it's people like you and me who are going to break these stereotypes. That's what we are doing today,
I,
Yes.
because we didn't do it earlier. We want to do it now. Yeah, Gunur, you were saying something.
I actually just want to add right here at this point. So I remember that I used to get very conscious about doing PDA with whichever woman I was with. And I remember one of my best friends. She's straight, and she was just doing her makeup, and I was like, I don't know if I can. She's my best friend. I'm talking to her, right? And she's just doing her makeup, and she's telling me, Gurnoor, if you don't normalize it, then how do you expect people like us to feel comfortable? That was a very big learning for me. It is also not just your responsibility to break the stereotypes, but it's also our responsibility to become that courageous to without being defensive, but actually going out there, because the minute I do this, I know for a fact that somebody else will find some bit of courage to maybe even just go out, go to her classmate and say, one girl goes to her other classmate and says, I like you, right? And that in itself is enough. That in itself is that getting out and accepting yourself. And these small, small things, normalizing it, is also not just your responsibility. While the stereotypes might have been made, but it's also our shared responsibility to break them. That's what I sincerely believe in.
Yes,
And
I think.
Rajat, I would like to sum this up. Gunur, you're very right. You be the courageous one, and we be the accepting people. You go talk about it, stand with it. We should give the ear, and we should accept it with open arms. So it's really a two-way road. It is a two-way road. But even being courageous, you are you become courageous, and then you are more comfortable in a safe environment as well.
Yes.
So all of us have to create that safe
Yeah.
environment, whether Gunur, you, me, or Rajat.
Yeah. For sure.
And I'm,
Absolutely.
yeah, and there's one thing I'd like to say. I think that's what you said. And parents, if they can just, have this understanding that your child is your child at the end of the day. He Now whether he is a male, he's a female, he's a lesbian, he's a bisexual, he's a homoflexible, he's a heteroflexible, or she is so. They are just your child. So it's about you who has to break your barriers. Only then you will be able to accept them. And it is as simple as just like you respect the other choices of your children, whether the career they want to choose, which is also in a stage where we are still going up the curve, where still parents sometimes tend to impose their career on them. It's just a simple choice like that. They have chosen, uh, it's a choice they have made, it's what is in their DNA, and they feel naturally attracted to a certain gender. If they can accept it so simply, because he's your child, if you will not create that safe environment, as Deepika was saying, if you don't create that safe environment, they will find that source in other places which may not be the right sources for the child.
Yeah.
So give them that non-judgmental space, that safe space that you're looking for.
And Rajat, sorry, Gunur, you go first. No, you go first.
I was just saying that I think in this process, parents also need to stop judging themselves for creating
Yeah.
children. Yeah, like chill. Like everybody, just chill. Like it's just
Exactly.
okay, stop adding this drama. That's all I want to say. Please, Deepika.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm a mother of two grown-up children. And you're right. They actually say I'm a drama queen when it comes to being a mother. But Rajat, that's how we were brought up. Child, perfect, everything perfect you want. And that's why I'm saying really building those awareness. And I don't know if there are help groups to, support. Rajat, today you are supporting some of the parents, but some place where parents feel safe to ask and understand. I can never imagine after being a mother, and if in future or ever I come to know that my child is not straight or anything about it, can I love the child less? No way. Love,
So,
being a parent, doesn't change.
yeah.
It cannot change. Come what may. All you want is a healthy child. All you want is happiness for the child. Nowhere when you are bringing up your child, you have ever thought of sexual orientation. So if that comes as a part of the life, and that is why, and Gunu, probably you can add here, are there help groups, can parents be supported in some form to understand?
I think there are a lot of communities which are there for the LGBTQ community. LGBTQ community. There's Gazy, there's Nazaria, there's a lot for at least the community. But these these community also, they have therapists, they have psychologists. Even if you just want to go and sit and talk. And today, and I say this out of experience, I knew someone, I was dating someone, and she needed therapy because she actually, um, well, she almost committed suicide because she did not accept herself. And for recovery, she went to a general therapist. Okay. And even therapists and all are becoming open to talk about queer issues. So actually, if um, you reach out to um, any of the good therapists and stuff, if you really want to talk about it, coaches, I have and let me tell you, every single coach I have, I always say that I have, three coaches. One being Paritosh, one being Amit, your husband, and one being Rajat. Okay, he is default coach of mine. But you notice that coaches are great places to go and talk because I mean, they have that in them. That is how they become a coach. They're certified coaches. This is in their DNA. So I sincerely believe that you can go and speak to more and more people in today's day and age. But if you're actually looking for communities, I would sincerely suggest checking out gazyfamily.com. You can learn a lot from them. I am actually associated with them as well. If you know people, and a great place to also start to talk about it is if you know someone who advocates. Just talk. Just pick up the phone and call. I've had so many professional decision makers just come and talk to me about their children altogether because they knew that, oh, Pride Month, and I've done Pride events, and they would just come to me and say, can we have a moment? And I'm like, where did this come from? And then just talk. It's okay to talk. It's okay to talk. When you get vulnerable, the other person gets vulnerable. When you put your barriers down, the other person will put their barriers down. And if you know there's someone there, just go ahead and talk. So I definitely feel Gazy has always been there. It's been there for 11, 12 years. They have a lot of support groups. They supported me when I had no one. So I would vouch for them. Yeah.
Yeah, that adds another dimension to it. For the mental health of your child,
Yes.
just let him or her be the way they want to be. If you want the good for your child, do that. Wow. I think this has been an eye-opening conversation for me today, and I'm sure Deepika, for you too. I mean, we're learning so much more today. I would like each one of you, uh, Deepika and Gurnoor, to share some final words for our viewers today. And what would you like to share to them, in particular to parents and teenagers?
Deepika,
Do you
please
want
go.
to go first, or
No, Deepika is going first.
okay, okay? So I I probably so couple of words which Gunur has left me with today. First, I want to talk about them: acceptance, right? Embracing. As families, can we embrace it? Encouraging dialogue, listening, talking about it. I think those are the three things I wanted to take away from the message today. One thing which I have been doing for quite some time now, because change is constant. So, unlearning, learning, and relearning is what I would recommend everybody, even for pride. There is so much to know about. Can we unlearn the stereotypes? Can we unlearn the way we were taught or brought up? Can we learn what is the right thing? Can we be courageous like Gunur is to go out and learn? And if we fall short of it, can we relearn it, please? There is no end to that. So I would leave with that message: unlearn, learn, and relearn pride. And Gunur, I would also want to say we take huge pride in you.
Oh, thank
We do. Amen.
you so much.
Super proud of you, Gurnoor. Super proud.
Thank you. It means a lot to me, and I'll just leave it at that. And I know that you guys know how I feel about this. So thank you so much. And what a wonderful message, Deepika. Um, I would like to say something before I share my message. Um, एंड ये थोड़ी दीपिका की तारीफ है, रजत तुम्हारी थोड़ी बात में करूंगी मैं.
Okay.
But uh, as a parent of when I look at you as a woman who I've always told you that I've always looked up to you because as a woman you have accomplished so much, and I say it as a woman you've accomplished so much because I know the hardships of it. But not just as a woman, you have accomplished so much. Okay, and that is even more encouraging for me, more inspiring for me as a human being. Okay, so I have always told you that I look up to you, but it gets deeper than that, because if there's something which wherein I know is a challenge to me now, when you've gone through the kind of things that I've gone through in life, trust me, your threshold for what is a challenge is very high. Okay, so you're already like, oh, this is easy and all. But what is a challenge to me when it comes to that, when I see someone at that level of acceptance, that not just acceptance, I think that level of wanting to help a community, help that is not, well, theirs. I'm just going to put it like that. You're an ally, you're an advocate. But जो level पे आपकी commitment है, मैं बहुत लोगों को मिली हूँ, मैंने आपके जैसा I have not met. And I am telling you, I'm sitting here because of you. And I chose this because, yes, it is Rajat. You both have today given me, you both have been my pillars of courage and strength today. I have so much respect for you, Deepika. And Rajat, a few words for you. you are changing generations. You're not just changing lives, you're changing generations, buddy. And to just be associated with a human being, not a man, not a woman, not anybody, but with a human being that has so much of influence and impact, I am blessed. Okay. Now for my message. Okay.
Yeah.
My message to anybody who is watching this, who is feeling at any age, feeling a little less straight than they do, than they should be, I guess, or just anyone who doesn't have any sexual orientation confusions, I would just say be unapologetically yourself. That goes for everything, right? Just be
Yeah.
unapologetically yourself, because that is the true essence, that is the true power, that is the true secret to success and happiness. There is no other formula. There is no other formula. Apart from that, I would also say that you need to have an environment of acceptance. And the environment of acceptance is first your responsibility when you accept yourself. When you've done that, then seek for acceptance from any other being around you. So the responsibility always lies within yourself. And just be yourself and don't stress, man. Like, life is good. so, so just leaving it there. Yes, that's it from my side.
Amazing. So the two amazing women have said it all, and they have, as usual, left me speechless. But it's been so amazing talking to both of you. And as I said before, it's been a very eye-opening session for me. And Gurnoor, I am so, so, so proud of you that you have spoken up and you are going to motivate generations. So, so on that note, and I really look forward to the ones who are watching for more people coming up and talking about it and making it as normal a conversation as it was today. And we three represent diversity in ourselves. So, in the form, there is a straight man, there is a straight woman, and there is a homo flexible person who is over here with us. So, we represent diversity and we support diversity and inclusion. So, stay safe and stay awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye bye.